some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time. Oh, but I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak just my mind. Oh. You're chilling in the rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. By my appetite, don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, 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 some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here.
ACL. So why does it have to be this way? Why is it such an intensive program? Well, during the first education phase, the class was in evening. We only get you for only 3 hours. You guys have the classes, some assignments and projects aside to the A2SV class, so that you cannot give your whole attention for problem solving. What you have to understand is the opportunities you're looking for getting admitted to those top tech companies. Millions of programmers want to get those opportunities as well. That means in order to get those opportunities, you should not be the best, you should be the best of the best, so that you should stretch your mind capabilities. That was why we designed this camp to be intensive at the same time. It's also very interesting. You get the chance to communicate with your friends as well, and you're going to be a better communicator at the end. If I say this much about the camp, we can move to the opening speech. So if Mr. Alper can join us right now, he's the head of communication in A2SV. He's going to give the opening speech. Until Mr. Alper join us, I'm seeing new faces from the February conference. Some of you, like, I would like it if you guys introduce yourself with us. So I'm looking at this young lady. What's your name? Whom? I didn't think like. Okay, okay, let's so can you tell us something about yourself? What you are you? What are you studying? And why do you want to join us?
Hello everyone. Good morning. Can you hear me?
I guess Mr. Arthur is
Yep,
going
I'm
to
here.
join us right now. So I'm going to give the stage for Mr. Arthur.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry for being late. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to be among you, not physically, but for the online presence, because this is a very remarkable day in your lives. I hope it will start a new era in your learning, in your understanding, and probably in your ultimate success. This is the camp of A2SV, where we say that the magic is happening. What is this magic? Let me talk about it. The camp era, where you are going to be constantly working with your heads, trying to learn something, is a very important step in your education life. Why? Because it's an intense program where you put your utmost work and effort to get what you have been told up to now. It will be not only a way or a mere medium of programming, but it will also enable you to improve your social skills and soft skills as well. So basically, the camp is a very important step in A2SV. We have seen numerous people beforehand who started the camp by saying that, oh, it's a very hard thing to do. The coding is so hard. I can't do it. And at the end of the day, after the camp period, we have seen a lot of people improve themselves so much that even they themselves cannot imagine of. So basically, take this camp period very seriously. This is my first advice to you. Secondly, do your planning and try to improve yourself as much as you can during this period because this will be an intense one and you will be taught by your people who have already taken the camps before. So with their help and with your, let's say, resilience, with your hard working, you are going to succeed and probably will not believe in what position you are going to become after the end of this period. I'm not going to make a long speech because there are many people who are going to talk about what the camp is about, how you can succeed. But as always, I'd like to give you a few definite advices that you should closely follow. Guys, be punctual, take responsibility, work as if it is the only important thing that you are doing at that moment, which means concentrate well. And at the end of the camp period, look at yourselves once again and see how you have improved. Let this camp be a good one for all of us and especially for all of you. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Arthur, for such a speech. Okay, now we can get back to our slides. Okay, now we're going to see on the first education phase and the onboarding phase how the teams have been performing. And our head of education, Ubshat Zanak, is going to present that for us.
Hello everyone. Okay. Okay, hello everyone. Sorry I'm late. I was bringing the cakes. Okay, so for the camp activities, we're going to have the usuals. We're going to have lectures, contest analysis, moonwalks, pair programming, learning how to approach, and communication session. and some of the new ones are next. Okay, we're going to have mock interview live sessions. This is where we're going to have one of you on the stage and on the board, and you're going to discuss and try to solve one problem using the 7 steps of highly effective problem solving. And the next one is student mock interviews. So basically, we're going to pair you guys up. So you're going to take turns and you're going to go through a question, trying to have a real interview setting, and this is going to help you guys. You're going to benefit a lot from these sessions. Oh yeah, this is actually my favorite. So we're going to have group contests. So we're going to team you up and a team of 3, and you're going to compete with the other groups, and yeah, may the best group win. Okay, for milestone and expectations. Okay, so before the camp, these are the lectures that we have done. So before the camp, we have done our arrays and matrices sorting 1, 2-pointers, sliding window, prefix sum, and linked list. And during the camp, we plan on giving you guys 7 lectures. We plan to cover them. We're going to have 3D, stack queue monotonicity, recursion 1, trees, recursion 2, binary search and sorting 2. So by the end of the camp, we're going to cover this whole topic. Okay, now we're going to go to the numbers. So this is the average problems we solve per person. So we expect that week 1, we're going to solve 30 problems. On week 2, we're going to bump it up. We're going to have 35. And by the 3rd week, we're going to have 40. So if you add these numbers, at least a person will solve 100 questions during the camp. So by the end of the camp, you'll be plus 100. Okay, the average contest conversion. Currently, we have 36%. On week 1, we want to have it at 40. Week 2, 45. And for week 3, 50. So every person needs to solve at least half of the problems in the contest by the end of the camp. Okay. Okay. This one is interesting. So the average weight loss. So currently we didn't lose any kind of weight. So week 1 is going to be 1. Week 2, 1.5. Week 3, 2. So this number is going to vary. For some of us, it's going to be 3. So yeah, it's going to be great. I think this is it. Okay. Next up, we're going to have the experience sharing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ubi. As you guys heard, this is going to be how the camp is going to work out. So before the expand sharing part, we would like to see the statics of the previous performance on the first education phase, and for it, I'm going to invite you to the stage.
Thank you, Tim. Now we talk about numbers, and we will see different stats. So the first stat is the average patient solved per group, and as you have seen here, the most solved patients are 168. Here at AASTU, the most solved is 156. So we need to be more than 168, or at least at the end of the camp, we need to beat all the schools, including AASTU, AASTU, and ASHAWA. So this is the stats for average patient solved. And the next is average consistency. In consistency, we are ahead of most of the school, but group 55 is more ahead of us, group 56 and group 57. So we take group 55 average consistency as a leader, and we need to be more consistent in this camp or in the other field of education. So we need to make this number higher, at least above 90 for the consistency. In the average students, we are good at AASTU, so most students participate or attend most of the classes. So this is essential for you to grasp most of the topics. So we need everyone to attend the lecture every day. So as you have seen, Group 56 is the leader here, and 57, latest and 57 is third. So we expect at the end of the camp, this average attendance to be increased. So we encourage every student to attend every class of the camp, because this is essential. Once you miss a topic, you may not have time to cover so many things. So as much as you can, you should prioritize this camp phase. If you have any other tasks besides that, maybe you have an internship program, or you may have another task. So you should prioritize ACB during this camp, because we expect you to solve more questions and we need you to be consistent. So you have to prioritize this camp more than any education phase, and you have to be focused on these tasks. So thank you. Okay, I think I forget the last. So average time dedicated in. So if you have seen, it's in minutes. So more a single student dedicated. The largest one is 249. So this is a great number. This amazing. So for G57 for my class, it is a bit lower. So I expect you guys to dedicate more time. And for other groups also, we expect you to dedicate more time for solving problem. So I think thank you.
Okay, thank you, Whitney. I believe this number somehow show how the team performance was on the first education phase. As you have said, we have some expectations for the camp and at the end of the camp. We're going to compare the performance of the camp with the expectations. The expectations are wrong, to be honest. So we expect some of the students even to surpass the expectations and always measure your performance with the expectation. Now we can move on to the experience sharing part. For it, we have two students with us. One is Nasafa Yasu, as we know. Nasafa got an offer from Bloomberg for internship. He's going to be heading to London soon. Nasafa, please come to the stage. Thank you. Another person is Tukalno. Tukalno is a student at AIT. He's also head of education in AIT. He has also got some offer from Bloomberg, the same company that has got an offer, so that he can find a company there. But Tukalno is going to join us remotely, so clap for Tukalno as well. So I will ask the questions to Ms. Alpha and someone for Tikanda. So, Ms. Alpha, first of all, I would like to congratulate you for getting this opportunity. So my first question is going to be, can you tell us about the interview process and what you believe sets you apart as a candidate to get this offer?
Yeah. Okay, first of all, thank you. So thank you for the opportunity to speak, I guess.
Okay, I'll repeat the question. tell us about the application process and what you believe set you apart as a candidate to get this offer.
As for the actual interview process, it's pretty much what everybody will go through once you finish like, the entire year. Once after the study camp, you'll be starting to apply to the companies. You have a list of companies to apply. You'll probably be applying for all of them. That's what I did at least. For me, I actually started a bit the before we finished like second camp. I started like I think like about a month before, and I got rejected by everyone because my CV was not like optimized. Well, a lot of basic things. So like after like even after those rejections, I kind of got used to it. So when the actual time to apply came, it wasn't as shocking to get rejected by so many companies. So yeah, that's pretty much what I did. However, like you expect, well, once your time comes, it's pretty much the same for everybody. You polish your CVs as much as you can. You go through an intensive process of like mock interviews. Cover as many topics as you can. That's usually what you'll be doing throughout the year. So once you're there, you just apply for a company, write your cover letters, shape your CV for a company. That doesn't really happen in economy. They can roll into the plan, but it does, we don't have to rewrite every time. And yeah, that's pretty much what it ends up being, where you just apply for a company, wait for a response, usually subjective, but sometimes you get an online assessment, or it could be an interview. Bloomberg doesn't have an online assessment, so you just went to the first interview. But once you get the first interview, that's the time when you have to shine. You kind of show what made you like proper applicant, why you're fit to be there. And that's why when I found out, I told you guys that the main thing you have to do is know how to express yourself. So at that stage, that's where you can make a difference, show them that you're different from everybody else by making yourself stand out. It's like express the things you mentioned on your CV, how to make it express it in a way so that it actually seems impactful to you. And it should be actually impactful to you. Just have to show it. And I guess what made me set me apart from the others, I guess, is probably just luck. And I put in a lot of time into getting like polishing everything, getting everything reviewed. I really involved my seniors involved in this. I had to get my CV checked, I guess, at least twice a week, just to get things down. So yeah, it's like giving it a lot of time and efforts, and be smart, doing in a smart way as well, like research a lot more. Yeah, and this what it ends up being.
Thank you, Razak. I also have other questions as well. What motivates you to pursue an internship at Bloomberg? And what are you most excited about this opportunity?
Okay. At first, there wasn't anything particular that I kind of that made me want like yes, Bloomberg, I want to join. I mean, I just wanted an opportunity to learn from a very good company, and from the from the list of very good companies, Bloomberg was one of them. I kind of applied, and once I got to the interview process, once they invited me to it, that's when I actually like researched about the company, what they do, like went through their websites entirely, listed down what like the things that makes the company unique, what made them like a leaders at what they do. I did a lot of research, and that kind of made it more exciting to get the opportunity. And as for like what I'm excited for right now, exploring another country is definitely fun. I like getting paid, so the money is pretty decent as well. Yeah. Overall, it's exciting. I think it's a good opportunity for me to explore and learn a lot of things.
Okay. What skills or experiences do you think were the most valuable in securing your internship? And how do you develop and demonstrate those skills?
That's a difficult question. I know it's okay. I can answer that. I mean, the main thing you have to do as a software engineer is build experience through projects. That's the main thing you can do because first, your projects can end up in your CV. Second, like working on projects for a long period of time actually counts as experience. So you don't have to work at a specific company to say like you have a couple years experience. If you've been working on like a few projects here and there, it should be consistent. But if you've worked on projects for a long time, that actually counts as a valid experience. And you could say like you don't have zero experience because you've worked on projects. You could say like you have 1 or 2 years of experience, even as a undergraduate. So like work on projects, that's pretty good. Yeah, and to showcase those abilities, like problem solving is definitely what you get to showcase during an actual interview. Like you show them how you solve a problem. But outside of that, when it comes to the behavioral part of the interview, that's the time where you get to showcase like what kind of experiences you went through, how you got and to showcase right those abilities, and show them definitely what you get, just how you built on yourself, how you worked on yourself, and how you ended up getting to where you are right now. That's mainly like what you get to showcase during an interview. Like you have an hour, just show them you can be the best that way.
Okay, how do you plan to make the most out of internship experience as a developer? And what are your goals for your time there?
Okay, what I hope to like once I get there, the main thing we all want to do is like get a full-time offer, right? So what I'm going to do is build connections once I'm there. I'm not a social, but I have to work for it somehow, right? So I'll work on that and then build my connections, showcase my actual like how good I am at learning and producing like good outcome. I'll showcase like putting the time will prove its worth. So I'll put in the time and see where that leads me. That's kind of my goal right now. Just go there and then do my best, and then wait for that. Kind of what I have.
Okay, this is the last question that I have. The answer is that the questions will not be from the student side. The last question I have is how do you envision this internship shaping your future career aspirations or guiding your the next steps along with that?
I think it will be a very good experience, mainly because it's a company, it's a top tech company. Second, I'll be there for like 21 weeks, which is like a lot of time to gain a lot of experience. I'll build a lot of connections and hopefully things work out. Yeah, and all these kind of build into what you want to become because if you have a set of connections, if you have proper experience, and if you have like a solid background behind you, let's say big company, I mean that's all you can ask for, and that kind of sets you up for something more in the future. Because if you have this in the background, you could apply for more companies, and having this experience kind of solidifies you as a good software engineer. And also, even if you come here, that the experience of being there gives you an idea of how you want to create a company here or like work at a company. It's a good set of experiences to have. Also. And that's pretty much it. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. I asked the only question that I wanted, but I'm sure there are some questions raised from the students. So I'm going to give it time from the students to use as other while he was also asking questions. Okay. You can raise your hands. Oh yeah? Your face looks like I want to ask you some questions. I can pick from your face and what's the question that you want to ask? It's okay, no one wants to ask a question. Okay, yes, want to ask. What's up?
Any questions is fine.
Okay, I'm seeing Hacker.
Can you please first introduce yourself?
You can hear me, right? I think I'm loud enough. Where's Arif? Ali, who's that? Karamba. So for consistency, I can be very dedicated when I put my mind into things. So that's kind of what I did. Where like if I feel exhausted or if I don't want to continue, I kind of ask myself why am I even doing this in the first place? And usually I have that already set down when I get to start to do something. So that kind of helps me to like pivot back to what I'm doing. Especially like right now, you're sitting doing questions, right, like all day, and it kind of gets exhausting after like 2 days, most definitely. But the thing is, you're doing this so that you can understand patterns. What's the point of understanding patterns right now? So that in actual instances, you don't get confused when you get asked the question, right? You can cycle through whatever you have in mind. It's after a year of all this, right? So you put in a lot of time. You've learned a lot of patterns. When you get asked a question, once you've started an interview, you're there going through different patterns and showcasing what you know, right? Like that's the main goal at the end, right? You apply for a company, you go through the interview, hopefully you make it, and then you get a job. That's kind of what you do. So if you have your goal set already, which is let's say maybe working at Google, let's say that's the easiest thing for everything, right? So you pick a company that's easy to target, and then you learn the skills that you need for that company, which is what you're doing right now, right? Like problem solving. And you get to like outside of this, which I kind of recommend you do, like at least a couple projects for yourself, but like by yourself or like with your friends, because it's good to build experience, right? And have those on your CV, and once you're there, right, like that's the end goal. So whatever you're doing right now is for that end. That's the thing about like when you're diligent for that, when you dedicate a lot of time, you don't see the fruit right now. You see it at the end. That's usually the question that I was asking myself last year. But I build my skills at least, right? Everything, like, at least something gets added onto what I know already, like everything. But like you don't really see any fruits for a long time. That's what kind of makes dedication like very exhausting. At least that's what it was for me. But make the small progresses right now count so that by the end, all this work is not just for that, right? It builds, and then you have your breaking point where you've done something at that point. That's kind of what it was for me. Like, I spent an entire year just doing problem solving. I did like projects by myself at the end, like throughout the way. And once I got to the interviews, I was getting listed by companies like left and right. It was very awful, especially at first, because you don't have any. I mean, you don't know what to expect when you're there, and mostly it's just a rejection, which is awful because whenever you check your phone, it's either a message from your mom or like Google rejected, which is it's not the best problem. It's usually awful, right? So you kind of have to get used to it. So what the best thing you could do for yourself is clear up on the things on your side. Like let's say if you're lacking skills, do that. If you're lacking project, work on that. If you're lacking experience, I mean, just do things that will gain you experience, so that when you're there, it's not a problem on your side, right? It's let's say either like you're recruiter, you're not actually a proper, you're some other circumstance that it's not actually your fault. So like build habits right now that would benefit you by you. And that's kind of what kept me like going throughout. Like you can ask my friends who even when we were doing like city polish, I was like since I started early, I was catching errors and fixing like every time we go through iterations. I was bothering like Ipsa a lot, mainly because he was experienced with this. So yeah, that's what I did. I put in a lot of time and effort, and it paid off. So whatever your effort you put in right now, just make sure like you should think that it's going to pay off in the end to get to your goal, and that will hopefully like keep you going. And if you lack like any motivation, ask us. We're around, right? We can help you go through like whatever you have, like issues you have. Even if we can't help you, like guide you on how to do certain things so that you can support yourself, right? It's a community, and we're here to support. Sounds good? Yeah. Any other questions?
Guys, we should use this one while we have it. You can actually ask him anytime, but if you ask now, most of you is linked to the chat forum, the whole class is linked to the chat forum. So if you have any question, you can ask for it.
Yes.
Okay, let's start. Let's say,
Yeah, that's right. This one, we'll just put it on.
yes, I would. Yeah, that's fine. So, if you have a chance to talk to Matt Sacker a year ago, you know, he is about to begin his first camp. What would you say to this camp?
You're gonna make it again. It's good. I mean, I have doubts, like, especially like right after camp, where like, after putting all like a month of like whole day, like just right after that, it was quite a bit toxic to me. Where actually there was a time where I actually was talking to my head like about like my performance went down right after camp because camp was exciting, right? Like you put in a lot of time, you see a lot of problems. Everybody's there with you, right? And you kind of get used to that, doing it all day, and then classes starts, and then there's other things as well. It kind of went down a bit for like a week. I kind of kicked back after that. But the thing is, it's I'll be giving the same advice I just gave him. Think of your goal by the end, and you're gonna reach there anyway. So don't get too stressed, and then just try to put in as much effort as, and don't lose your lead course streak because that actually was hurtful. Yeah, that's true. I guess that is. Yeah. I mean, you guys see me around every day, so you can ask me. I may answer for me. So, if you have any questions, I can answer right now. Ask. If you don't, I'll be around. I guess not. Yeah. Okay. So, thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. I'm sure that the experience is going to help our students. Now we have Colonel in our safety. Colonel is the head of education in. A simple change of class. We also have someone from the industry in this experience sharing session. Her name is Aish. Aish has been working in TikTok and Spotify. So she's going to tell us about her experiences during her stay with the top tech companies. Hello, Aish, are you with us?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. The class, can you hear Aish? Give her Aish a thumbs up. Aish, sorry for the platform message.
That's fine. So, hello everyone. This is Aisha. So I have experience working with two very big tech companies. One being Spotify, and the second one is TikTok. I do. Can you hear me? Wait. Did you hear what I said? I think I was muted at some point. Should I start from beginning? Okay, so just to recap. So I have experience working with two very global big tech companies, one being Spotify and the other one is TikTok. So I do policy and program management roles. It's rather non-technical roles. So I deal with issues related to content and policy enforcement, etc. But I'm here to give you an introduction into like the life working in a tech company. What are some key skills that are required for from any employee, regardless of the role. So big companies like Spotify and TikTok usually have a very large global footprint. So you're likely be working with colleagues spread across the world in different time zones, coming from different work cultures and communication styles. So it's really important to be aware of it, and going there with an open mindset and flexibility to work with people who have not only different disciplinary backgrounds and levels of understanding of issues, but also communication styles and time management skills, etc. So when you talk to different stakeholders, it's important to adopt a multifaceted communication strategy. So, for example, if you come from an engineering background, you shouldn't assume that everybody understands what you're talking about. So, when you engage with people who are less familiar with the topic, you should maybe use less, jargon-heavy vocabulary, maybe simplify things and make the issue more understandable. And also, it's really important to use a active communication style. Always keep the communication channels open. Allow people to be able to reach out to you to ask questions and clarifications. It's important to have patience and empathy, because not everybody might be on the same level of understanding. Even though everybody speaks English, not everybody has the same level of English as well. So you need to be aware of that, and you might have the same challenges yourself. So don't take it as a hindrance towards your progression there, because that's acceptable. It's these companies are usually very diverse companies, so they know that not everybody is a native English speaker, so they will show the same level of grace to you as well. And also time management. These are very fast-moving companies, so things might change a lot in a short period of time. Priorities change. Some deadlines are strong and tough, and you need to meet those deadlines. But it's also important to show flexibility and reprioritize to align with projects moving and priorities changing. Also, when you work with different teams and different colleagues, it's important to keep in mind that not everybody might have the same priority as you do. They have their own projects, they have their own challenges going on. So when you talk to people, keep it in mind that your urgency, it might not be their priority. And it's important to communicate directly, align on goals and deadlines together to make sure that there is no miscommunication and misunderstanding. So that's the background I can give overall. But like I said, in companies like that, culture is very important. So often these companies have their set of values that you need to adhere to. So when joining or interviewing for these companies, make sure that you read their company manifesto, their memo, the things they really care about. Be aware of what they value. Maybe some companies value being humble. Other companies maybe have a more competitive culture. It's important to be aware of it. Also, these companies often have a strong focus on work-life balance. So maybe in some companies it's frowned upon to set up meetings with people outside work hours. Make sure to always check with them. Keep in mind that they might be in a different time zone, and when you need to find joint time zones, always ask them first before scheduling meetings. And and also in these companies you might start as an engineer, but these are such talents. It's a great place for talent to diversify their career prospects. So you might move on to different roles as well if that's what you want to do, or you have opportunities like continuous learning and growth opportunities. So make sure to take advantage of those as well, because it's important to be well versed and very diverse tech professional. So keep in mind that you can just join to different conferences, read news, or work with different projects that are maybe outside your comfort zone to be like a more well-rounded tech professional. So that's all I have to say, but I'm here to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Aisha. Okay.
Thank you. That's a really good question. And regardless of what role you do, communication skill is key. Like I mentioned, because you work with people coming from very different backgrounds. So even though you are in a technical role, depending on the projects, you're likely to work with people from different teams who might not, or even like technical people who are working on different projects, and they might not be, this like they might not have the same level of understanding, or they might not be in looped in the projects that you are doing. So you really need to make sure that when talking to people, you have a very clear communication style, you like open and approachable, so people are encouraged to talk to you, like help you, ask any questions that I might have, and this helps you like unblock any like challenges that you might have. Also, you mentioned like English not being your native language, and that's okay, because tech companies are very diverse. You have people who have like English their first language. There are also so many people like you, like me, and other people coming from different countries who don't speak English at a native level, and that's perfectly fine. And and once you start communicating people with more and more, you realize that you're going to be more comfortable communicating in English, and people understand and often show grace and patience when talking to people who might not be as confident in English. I hope that answers your question. Yeah, I say diplomacy is very important, and empathy. So when you talk to people, when you show that you understand their challenges, you're there to, you are working towards the same goal, and you are there to, like resolve issues, find a common ground. It really makes a difference, because, nobody's technically have to help you, especially, when they have other things going on, so many other projects going on. When you approach with empathy, when you say, I know you have a lot going on, and there is this project, and this is why it's important, and that's what you can also get out of it. So make sure that you negotiate, you use diplomacy, show empathy, and be like a genuine and approachable person. It goes a long way. So it's a soft skill that sometimes people tend to overlook, but it really makes a difference. Thank you.
Okay, Aish. So previously you had a technical issue, that was why. I actually have one question for you. How do you maintain work-life balance, especially in such demanding tech industries?
Yeah, that's also a really, really great question. Especially when you work across time zones, you have colleagues working in, Singapore, and you might have colleagues working in San Francisco, and you might be based in Ethiopia or somewhere in Europe, where your time zone is not aligned. So you might have meetings too early or too late. I think it starts with prioritizing, understanding what meetings are a must, that you need to be there. Is there a way you can maybe join these meetings asynchronously? So do I need to be physically there? Can I like watch the meeting records and share feedback in a written way? Or can I find a time to reach out to people, like set up meetings in like a time zone overlap? Prioritization comes first. Second, setting boundaries. You're doing your best and you want to be cooperative as well. It's important to make sure that you're not joining a like 10 p.m. meeting 3 times a week. That you have your own projects, but you also need to make sure you have a life outside work. A lot of people, they have families, they have kids, hobbies, other things. These are important, and these are the things the companies value themselves as well. So again, communication comes first here. You shouldn't be like aggressive when you set boundaries, but approach with an empathy and tell people, I am in this time zone and I might join this meeting, but I cannot join 3 times a week. Is there another way we can, find a way, communicate that doesn't require me to be there physically, virtually or physically, whatever you call. And also, yeah, making sure that you prioritize and you know what is important and what is not. Otherwise, there are endless meetings. If you don't set boundaries, you might find yourself having to attend so many more meetings than you honestly are needed to.
Thank you, Aish. I actually have one other question. Can you tell us on your experience how you get started to the tech field and how you joined those companies? Okay.
Sorry, I couldn't hear this question. Could you repeat, or maybe like?
Okay. How do you get started to the tech companies like Spotify and TikTok? So what was your journey? How did you get the chance to work in those companies?
Yeah, that's also a very interesting question. I have a rather unusual journey. So I come from a non-tech background. I studied political science and economics, and I work for intergovernmental organizations. So I did like a couple of internships with like European Union and European Council of Europe, European Court of Human Rights, and NATO. And then, this also shows that tech is very diverse in the sense that it's open to people coming from different backgrounds. As long as you have the skill set, I think this is more true for non-technical roles like mine. If you have the right skill set, you can transfer those skills to various roles. I guess it's true for technical roles as well. Like you can upskill yourself and learn new skills. But I had friends working in tech, but I was also always interested in this like fast-moving industry. It's also the culture-wise as well. It was very much suited to my personality. Working with people from like different countries, cultures, background was something that appealed to me. So how I started working for TikTok, it was more like a luck incident than anything. When TikTok started to like really explode during pandemic, they were hiring tons of people in Europe, and then I got a message on LinkedIn asking if I would be interested, and I was very excited because it was always at the back of my head to do something like that. So I joined in a policy role. So I, prepare like advise the company around government like regulations, any like human rights and policy challenges that they have to keep in mind. So it was very relevant to my background. It was just using those skills in a different industry. It was, when you set your mind and have a goal that like in your career you want to go there, I think there is a fit for everyone. And you can find a place for yourself because there are so many different teams, so many different roles. I even had a colleague in my team, in policy team, who studied physiotherapy. So it's like it's not even policy work, but they did a couple of courses and internships and some work, and they found their way there. So these companies are usually like open to embracing people who don't maybe follow the traditional career path. So you don't need to maybe start from one place and follow like every step the right way. You can make different roads and end up in the tech world as well. I hope that answers your question.
That definitely answers my question, Ash. Thank you. Now, students, please you can ask your questions to Ash. So, what question do you want to ask? Okay.
Aisha, we didn't get a question from our students yet. I want to kick us off. So, it's been a few days since you came to Ethiopia and you start interacting with A2SVs. I have two questions for you. First,
Yes.
your first impressions about Ethiopia, and second, your first impressions about A2SV. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Emre. Emre, and I think a few people already know Ethiopia always had a really, soft spot in my heart. Well, during my researcher days, I did a number of research on Ethiopia, youth unemployment dynamics, like investment, foreign investment, and like overall like development of the country. So those were the topics I felt passionate about. I also wrote my master's dissertation on Ethiopia. So it was a country I was familiar with. I knew that it was such a like tapestry of cultures and languages and religion, and it's such an ancient country with a lot of beautiful things to experience. And I loved Ethiopian food. I used to be addicted when I was living in Belgium. They had really good Ethiopian restaurants, so it was very exciting. And when Emre invited me, I couldn't wait to come here sooner. And yeah, I am very much impressed. It's a country with great potential, and there are so many things happening, and it's moving and developing so fast. And it's really exciting to have a chance to make however small an impact it is. To have that opportunity, I think it's amazing, and I'm very optimistic about the future of this country. And yeah, super impressed. And the students as well. I think it's a really brilliant mix of students. Everybody seems to be so determined and so sharp and so open-minded. I had an opportunity to chat with a number of students and staff, and I'm really impressed by the genuine passion for what this initiative, this nonprofit organization does, and people deeply care and they are so determined. And I already got to the statistics from Emre and the others. Already accomplished so much, and I am convinced that greater things are coming. And fingers crossed.
Thank you, Aish. So, students, I guess this is not the same with Sapa. You might get Sapa in class, and definitely not going to get Aisha in class. So, what would you like to ask Aish? Okay, so I guess the students have already get what they want from it. Your explanations was to the point. Thank you for joining us. Please, a lot of applause for us.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure.
Okay, so now, sir, we should be on. We also have someone for this experience sharing section. So now, are you with us?
Yes. Am I audible, everyone? Hi.
Okay. Okay, Karnav, thank you for joining us. Can you please start with telling our students who you are, what you're working on, and every details?
Um, Sorry, Nati, but I wasn't able to hear you. So do I start sharing my experience, or do you have another way?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. So can you please start with telling the students who you are, what you're working on, and where do you get an offer?
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So my name is Fikarno Brahanu. I am a software engineering student at AAIT. I was a student at A2SV last year. I was in group 41. Currently, I am working as a head of education intern for group 51.
Thank you, Fikarno. So can you share your insights or tips how you prepared for technical and behavioral interviews and how you get the chance to admit to Bloomberg?
Okay, great. Yeah, so I applied at Bloomberg like in October, I believe, and the interviews started in November. I had my first one, the first round of interview in November 7. So for me, it was 5 rounds. I believe you've also heard from Masafa. So we've basically had a similar kind of experience with the interviews, I believe, but it was 5 rounds. So the first round was technical, and also the second round, they were similar. It was your typical DSA problems from lead code. So that was the first 2 rounds. The third round was a system design round. So I believe this is true for Bloomberg only. They ask system design questions. Usually you don't get asked system design in other internship interviews, but this was the case at Bloomberg. And for round 4, it was a behavioral interview with an HR. So like it's also kind of similar to the questions you had to answer when you got into A2SV. So that was round 4, and round 5 was an interview with a hiring manager or an engineering manager, and that interview was kind of like a mix of technical and behavioral for me. So he would ask me questions, some technical questions, and right after he would ask me some behavioral questions. So it was kind of an open conversation, to be fair. So that was the nature of the experience I had.
Thank you, Fikarno. So, as we all know, there is a ton of candidates for this opportunity. What do you think sets you apart from them, and how do you get this opportunity?
Thanks. Great question. So as you said, it's gonna be kind of very competitive, and like you have to find some way, that would set you apart in order to make yourself a hireable candidate. So for me, if I had to say a couple of things, I think my goal last year when I was a student at A2SV was like just be good as I can be in the essay. I wanted to have great knowledge in data structures and algorithms, because that's how you pass the interviews, right? If you don't have that knowledge, that's I would say the requirement, right? And it's expected for me to be really good in DSA. So that was my goal. But apart from that, I was also working to have actual practical coding skills, right? So for me, my goal was to be as all-rounded as I can be, you know, have different aspects to my game basically, and as the different people here mentioned, also communication side, I was working actively on that. So my goal was to be able to explain my thoughts, to be able to uh, you know, talk at length, maybe if that was required about any topic. So for me, I would say three things basically. I worked on three things. The first is DSA and data structures and algorithms knowledge, and also in the meantime I was trying to have actual practical experiences, and actually that came in really handy, by the way, in the interview. So when they ask you to tell you about themselves yourself, you'd say, so my name is this and this, and I this and this, I scored this in high school leaving examinations, stuff like that. And you know, that was kind of how I talked as well. But at the end I would explain about my work experiences, and usually the follow-up questions they have is from that experience. And in order to have like this talk, and in order to build this kind of rapport with the interviewer, it was kind of like a topic, right? And it was a great topic to talk about. So experience as well, and last but not least, communication as well. And one of the feedbacks I got from Bloomberg when they offered was, you know, we liked your communication and stuff like that. So I believe those were the things that set me apart.
Thank you, Fikarna. So as he mentioned, most of us do not have a problem working on our technical side, but we mostly forget how important the soft skills are. And while you stay here, it's really, really important to develop the soft skills as much as it's important to develop those technical skills. Okay, I also have other question, Fikar, now that is, so after you go there, how do you plan to make your stay at Bloomberg, and what are your goals when you go there?
Okay, that's a great question. Like, I'd like to kind of reiterate on the first thing you said, which is the communication part. So it's also a reminder, but I would advise communication skills are like essential, very essential, I would say. So if anyone is trying to kind of land positions in the future, you really have to think about it, and you really have to work on it. But I think this is also a camp kickoff, so the most important priority at this point is being able to work on your data structure and algorithms knowledge. And that said, I can come to the second question. So you asked me what are my plans to, like, once I got there. And for me, it actually has been the same. So for me, how I like to approach things is, you know, I have to give my 100% efforts. I want to kind of like make an impact, right? And for me, how I plan to do that is just work as hard as I can. And the point for me at this point, since I am also a student, is to just make sure I'm learning constantly and growing constantly. I think that should be the goal, right? Since we are kind of like seeing what works for us and what doesn't, it for me, I believe it's very important to know where our like interests as well as competence lies in. So for me, my goal is to make sure I learn everything that comes my way. Yes.
Thank you, Fikarno. That was all the questions I wanted to ask. I'm sure your responses were a learning point for the students. So, students, if you have questions that you would like to ask Fikarno, we can ask him those questions. I guess those are all the questions that was raised by us to now. Thank you for your time.
Great. Thank you very much and see you. Bye.
Basically, let's put some things into perspective before we talk about the best practices. In camp, basically, we are going to have a full day of problem solving and almost about 8 hours or 9 hours of problem solving. That could be basically, if I say like, if I skip one day of camp, it would be equivalent to missing about half a week of the normal section. So basically, if you think about it, even one day could make a significant change in your performance and also the way you stand and your consistency. So basically, the best practices are to stay committed and to be determined in your problem solving. So one thing that is you need to focus on is if you're going to be spending the whole day doing the problem solving, you must take full advantage of this opportunity to focus on problem solving and problem solving alone. Do not try to add other things in the side to do, but focus on one thing. Basically, if you focus on one thing, that can give a very good advantage for you to get the grasp of problem solving. In the camp, as you have seen in the presentation, we will be covering more topics than what we have seen up until this moment in time. So be fully dedicated and determined. Try not to miss even half a day of the camp. Basically, if I say one thing and one thing to be the best practice for this camp is to have 100% of attendance. If you come to the session, you have no other option than to do the questions and make the time to actually improve on your problem solving. And the other thing is, if you're going to spend the whole day doing the problem solving, the night should be a time where you rest. So if you try to use the other, like the time after the session to do other tasks, it might be very easy for you to get burnout. And being burnout like does not come slowly. If you get burned out, it would be shown in a case of demotivation. You'll be demotivated through problems, and that would significantly affect your problem solving and experiences at the camp. So basically, try to focus on problem solving on one thing. If you have other tasks, try to put them aside. Make problem solving your first priority and make the best effort out of camp. And finally, the last thing is, if you're in the middle of the day and if you feel tired and like if you feel out of energy, probably you are dehydrated. So drink water and go also problem solving. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. He has told us about how to get the most out of the camp. So now we're going to see what's going to happen after the camp. Okay, so up until now, we finished the first onboarding phase, in which you guys learned about Python Slack and some soft skill lectures. After that, there was first education phase. We learned about some basic data structures and algorithms. Now we are on the camp. During the camp, we're going to continue on learning data structures and algorithms. Why? Communication skills is also our main goal here. After the camp is going to be the second education phase, which is the same as the evening classes. You're going to continue with some data structures and algorithms. After that, is going to come the project phase. Here you get the chance to work on projects that is going to impact the society, and you get the chance to work with some real problem solving projects. After that, there's going to be a camp two. During the camp two, you learn some advanced data structures and algorithms. That will be the final touch you're going to have before you move on to the application sessions. From that point, you're going to search for opportunities, and interviews is going to start. And that will be the first year of education in A2SV. And that's it. Now we're going to have our closing remark. Okay. I have forgotten something that I shouldn't be, to be honest. This is the most fun part, the one we like the most. It's a trip. And it is you have a culture of having a trip at the end of each camp. So when you guys finish this camp, there is going to be a trip. It's so much fun. So be ready for it. Make yourself ready for it. So now we're going to have our closing remark by everyone. Please come to the stage.
Thank you very much, Nahom. And team, it is really my pleasure to see this beautiful event from the first row. So before I get started, I want to thank everybody who have been involved in the process of preparing this beautiful event. So when we enjoy, we may not notice all the bits and pieces that need to be taken care of, guys. Like from the cakes we are about to eat, to the speakers, guests, dealing with some connectivity issues, some microphone issues, right? These things take time and effort. And our education squad makes it work seamlessly. So I want a round of applause for our valuable education squad members. Next, let's talk about how to get the best of this camp. So team, this is going to be your first camp, so you must be excited. Great achievement to reach to this point. It is not easy to get to the schools you are studying at. It is not easy to get to the departments, to get to A2SV, and being part of all this friendly competition, to push your boundaries, to gain skills that are going to help you to change things with technology. So if you remember at the beginning, we said, this is not going to be an easy journey. If somebody comes and tells you, hey, in 2 weeks you will play in Premier League, don't believe in that. It takes time, energy, effort. But by the end, see how these people grow. Like especially when I look at the experienced heads at A2SV. Like when I look at Matthios, who is about to go to Ghana, teaching Ghanaian students very soon. When I look at Utsa, Aman, when I look at some of our new emerging lead heads, I see that there are so many great people. And we don't know all of them. In this camp, you have a chance to get to know each other. Every time I get to know about an AASTU, I realize that there are so many high potential, kind-hearted, intelligent people out there that we simply don't know because of life's realities. If you spend 5 minutes with every single person in this room, how many minutes are you going to need? I don't know the exact number, but with rough calculations, I would say we have about 80 people. So this is going to be 400 minutes. And we don't have that luxury all the time. But this doesn't change the fact that these people are beautiful. They are valuable. So realize this. When you surround yourself with such a great group of people, it gets a lot easier to push your boundaries and learn things in a fun way. Like, is there anybody who can say, Emre, without AASTU, I would solve this many problems up to this point. I would practice speaking English as much as I am doing it now. I would improve my skills that are matching in the direction of the industry. How many people would say that, guys? Apparently zero. Then let's realize that our biggest asset is each other. A2SV is a valuable organization not because it has money, it has offices, it has materials. A2SV is a very valuable organization because of the people we have. And you are one of us. And in this camp, you have a big role. Your role is to spend as much time as possible on your boundaries. It is not going to feel comfortable team. I am asking every single one of us to get out of our comfort zone. Because the development happens when you feel pain. You are going to feel very satisfied in this camp. Sometimes you are going to feel tired. You are not going to feel very comfortable, I'm telling you. Because we are going to push you to do things that you haven't done before. We are going to learn new topics. We are going to set higher goals than we have set in the past. But do not forget, whatever took you to this level is not going to take you to the next level. If you want to go to higher version of yourself, you gotta start doing something different. So how can you do that? You can look for what is the next step. In many different directions you believe they are in. Are you solving 3 problems today? Do not try to seek 10 problems tomorrow. Push it to 4 problems. Do you want to read regularly? Do not force yourself to read half an hour. Start with 5 minutes. So make it attainable, make it reachable, but make it push you towards your goal. That is very important. The second thing, quality over quantity. So team, this is very important. In Africa as well, now we have access to information. If you go to YouTube, if you go to Coursera, University, there are so many different resources. Today's challenge is not having access to information. Today's challenge is to remove all the distraction, stay focused, and improve in one area. At A2SV, we already give you a great curated path. Normally, this is a big problem. Hey, what should I study? I want to learn something new. What should I study? This is a problem. But here at A2SV, you are already given a learning path. There are hundreds of students who went through and who got great results. So that is also given to you. And what is your role? Your role is to responsibly push your boundaries in problem solving, in communications. You may not feel very comfortable speaking English. It means you are the one who needs to speak English the most. Because if you're feeling comfortable, it means you already get it. And if you find yourself, you cannot speak Amharic, no, then it means you need more support with your English skills. So especially for those teammates, all of us, let's bring our awareness level up. Because we are not in the position of bringing international students for this campaign. If that was feasible, we would do that. Then it would be a forcing factor to speak English, right? But that is not the case. Therefore, we need to address this with awareness. Our heads, it starts from here. If you speak Amharic with each other, what do we expect from our students, right? Our lead heads, when you see a head speaking Amharic, make an issue about it, talk about it, remind why are we doing this? What kind of results it has? Heads, when you see our teammates interacting now, likewise, feel free to remind them why we want to push English. But that's very important. It may sound minor, but tell me, outside of the 3 hours, how often do you get a chance of speaking English? Who speaks English with their family? With their teachers? Friends? So that's why at A2SV we ask you to use English so that your skills are going to improve. This is one of the rare opportunities we have. And lastly, let's not forget this is a friendly competition. Everybody's competition is with themselves. It's not about whether you pass this person, that person. It's all about how much of skills you added to yourself. Therefore, do not get out of the boundaries. As you know, at A2SV, cheating is our weapon. And regardless of circumstances, we want to be in peace with reality. We never ask anybody, hey, why you had this result from the contest? Like, we are here to help to improve your performance as long as we want to walk this path. But let's keep in mind this is a friendly competition. So push yourself to the boundaries. At the same time, do not pass the red lines. So do the things based on the rules. Trust the system. We have seen so many generations of experience. Prior to that, I have seen
ask those questions. You have questions about the schedule, the program, anything you guys would like to know. Okay, Abby. So, Uwe, can you please come to stage and explain in detail, tell them in detail about the activities? Okay, yeah, the activities. So we're going to have the usual. So we're going to have lectures. Mostly we're going to have lectures in the morning so that you can use up your day. And we're going to have practice sessions, pair programming, contest and contest analysis. And we're going to have some new sessions. One of them is mock live interview, student mock interview, and that's new. And you're going to have group contests, and you're also going to have mock interviews between yourself, and that's mostly the sessions. So does that answer your question? Mhm. Oh, the group contest. Okay, for the group contest, we're going to have we're going to team you up. So we're going to form a team of three. So we're going to have a competition between the groups. So from 57, we're going to have three students, one team from the others, and we're going to see whose group is the best. Yeah. And also we might have a triad contest. So we're going to team up into a team of three for all the students to take part in the contest. We can also have that one. Any questions about the sessions? What's the difference? Okay, the question says, what's the difference between a live mock interview and between students? So for the live student mock interview, we are going to have one of you come to the stage on the board, and you're going to explain your thought process, trying to solve a problem using the seven steps of highly effective problem solving. And for the other one, we're going to give you two questions. You can take turns, ask each other between yourself, and you're going to mock the real interview setting, and you'll try to answer the question. It's going to be interesting. Any other question? Yes. Okay, for the camp, the duration. So we're going to start our day early. It's going to be at 9, and we're probably going to end at 8. So the whole day. Mhm. In terms of weeks, so the camp, we plan on having the camp for 3 weeks. So for 3 weeks, you're going to be here all day with us. Yes. Yeah, it's going to be intensive, but I'm sure all of you will get through it. Yeah, we're going to help you since we are going to be there all day with you guys. Yes. Any other question? Yes. Nice question. We will answer it later. Yeah, we're going. Yeah, of course, there's going to be stipends. Don't worry. We will. I don't know about the budget, but there is going to be stipends. Yes. Yeah, as he said, so we're going to. It's mostly going to cover lunch and dinner, so there will be stipends. Yes. For today, the afternoon, I guess. Hmm. Actually, it's going to be a practice session the afternoon since the last time we covered linked list. So we want you guys to have good understanding of linked list. So we're going to have a practice session the afternoon, and tomorrow we're going to have a lecture, the first lecture of the camp, and I expect all of you to be there. Okay. Any other question?
Okay, I think this is it. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so we're going to end it with quote of the day. It says, "Camp is where the magic happens," and I'm sure you guys is going to confirm that for you guys. It's a quote by Ember. And you guys should not leave now. We're going to provide cakes and juice, and you can socialize with your friends now. So, yeah.
Organization email telecollector activity.
Guys, I have a few announcements.